Well, good morning, and what a day to celebrate. I'm Becky Norwood with Spotlight Publishing House, and this is the beautiful and amazing Tonya Pomerantz, and we are celebrating da 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 da. Hold yours up, Tonya.
Yay!
Hey, it's so beautiful. Sex, self-esteem, and sheer stupidity, surviving your 20s and beyond. Tanya, there's quite a story behind this book that you wrote and the stories that are within the book. Let's talk about this journey for you and the getting it to this amazing point.
Yeah, I've 30 years, Becky, 30 years. So I'm 52 and I started it when I was either 21 or 23, but I've always wanted to write a book and never thought it would happen. So there have been challenges and evolutions and developments. And yeah, so it's been a journey. It's the beginning of a journey, really, quite honestly.
It is quite a beginning of a journey, but it is a fabulous journey. And what did it feel like when you got this beautiful book in your hands?
Not gonna lie, there were tears. There were tears. There were tears um, when I got the book, when I got a text message from my husband with him holding the book like this,
Oh,
and and I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I came home and I opened up the box and I saw and I felt it, I was like, there was some, cries of joy, some exclamation, and incredulousness.
yeah,
Yeah,
the fact, the knowing that you did it, you finally did it, you know, and that
yeah,
that it that it is now a different point in your life because you accomplished something that you've worked on for many, many years, 30 years. And in the pages of this book, what is your overall theme and what is the story behind the story?
it really is about honestly sex, self-esteem, and sheer stupidity. That really is it, because when you have a severe lack of self-esteem, as it was for me, you
And
make really stupid decisions.
yeah,
And invariably, it ended up with me. Can I just be bold? Can I just like put it out on the table?
yep.
It ended up with me finding my sense of self in whether a man was attracted to me, um, and if I could have sex, that means that I was good enough for him. If somebody wanted me to have sex with, I was good enough.
Do you know, having been single for over 20 years, as a single mom, I know the journey all too well. I really do. And and you said you translate sex with love.
Yeah,
You're loved, you know,
yeah.
and it does not mean you're loved because men like that's the thing they like to do.
Yes, yes. And you know what? There is a great quote in here that I wish I could have put my little bookmark in. But it's basically sex is the consolation prize. Oh, yeah, here. Sex is the consolation you have when you can't have love. And that's by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I wanted love. I
Mhm.
wanted somebody to love me. I was lonely. I never thought I was good enough. I never thought I would have the love relationships that I would see other people having.
I truly, truly know that. Truly know that. And, at one point there was somebody that told me when I was single and I had two beautiful daughters and their dad was never a part of their lives, never. And somebody said, well, you need to just give up on this. There's no good men out there. And I looked at that person and I said, you know what? That is a bunch of bull. I said, I'm a good woman, and just because I haven't found a good man yet or the right one for me does not mean they're not out there. I just haven't found it. it hasn't come to me yet. But
Mhm.
I said, that doesn't mean you can't say that, because that's equating to that I'm not a good woman, you know?
That's
And
right.
that's how it felt to me at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a reflection of somebody if they are single. It's not. It's just timing
Right.
and luck.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did meet the right one for you, as did I.
I yeah, we're very lucky. We're very, very lucky. And I don't take a minute of my life and my relationship for granted at all, at all. And you know, people can read about that and understand where this journey went. And I was all about sabotaging the relationship and everything, because of a lack of self-esteem. And I made really, again, I chose not to have a child because I didn't want anybody to feel the same sense of ugliness that I did, and that same pain and hurt. And I also thought, man, if I get, if I have a child, I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to lose my figure. And I that's honestly all I thought I had to offer.
Hmm. Wow. So Bruce Springsteen plays a big role in this
Yes.
beautiful book, and I know you have this. He's been kind of that amazing thing for your life. You've related to many of his songs. Let's talk about that part of the journey.
He's been a part of it since I was 14 years old. He's more significant than any relationships I had, except for my husband, who often jokes that he's, number three behind Bruce, the dog, and then him. Um, but no, he's been incredible. And one of the lines that I quote and I still feel strongly is, I drive all night just to buy you some shoes and to taste your tender charms. And I just want to sleep all night again in your arms. Like that, that's all I wanted when I was 18 years old.
Mm.
And, um, you know, uh, his, his voice, and I mean that physically as well as metaphorically, his voice about, I was just listening to Dancing in the Dark, when he says, want to change my clothes, my hair, my face. I'm like, oh my God, he gets it. I'm not alone. And honestly, that's what I want somebody to feel when they're reading this book. Oh my God, she gets it. I'm not alone. There's someone else that feels this way. Um, and not a day goes by that I don't listen to at least one of his songs. So I am right now in absolute heaven because he was on Q yesterday. He was interviewed on Q, a talk show on CBC, and not a talk show, but a show. And I loved it. And last night when I needed to get to sleep, I turned that on and I listened to his voice as I went to sleep. And when I had to have surgery last year, I wanted his voice to be the last thing I heard. And his rendition of the song Dream Baby Dream uh, got me through that whole surgical experience. I would sing it, I'd have my little mask on, and I would be singing Dream Baby Dream. And, nobody would hear. And it would just be constantly going. And I would say to myself, dream, baby, dream. And, um, you can do it. And he's just incredibly inspiring. His attitude, his love of his fans, his, his journey and his evolution and his ability to reinvent himself. Like right now, he's got Only the Strong Survive, I believe is the title of his new album. And it's covers of the soul music that brought him joy and he experienced when he was growing up. So it's just wonderful. So he is a big, huge inspiration for me.
That's awesome. Is there one favorite song out of all of them, or are they just all pretty much equal?
Well, the that first one that Drive All Night that was the song that when he sang it in concert on October 19th, 2012, henceforth known as like the best night of my life, I think. That was just incredible. And, but yeah, I mean, there's so many, it's vast, his catalog. And, you know, you never have the same song in mind for like a long time. It changes depending on what's going on in your life and your mind and your thoughts. I love it. I love him. I love his
The
music.
thoughts. That's beautiful. You know, this book, it's so authentic, it's so raw, it's so vulnerable, and it also has an incredible amount of the wisdom that you've gained through your journey that are in the pages of this. And I really feel like you could turn this into a really great platform for working with others that are going through the same journey. Even turn pages of it into a workbook type of thing where, you know, you're really letting your light shine, and you're open enough and you have the wisdom enough now through this journey that you've been, that the nuggets that you share throughout the pages of your book are the same nuggets that you will share with others that can help them to find that, because it's such a human experience. It is such a something that so many of us face, but we never talk about or haven't talked about. You know, we think we're the only ones. We are not the only ones. You know, and to know that you're not alone on that journey is powerful. You know, so
Yeah. And I was just going to say, that's why I wrote it. So to feel, and, you know, it's dedicated to, for everyone who has ever felt alone, misunderstood, and not good enough.
yes,
I lived my whole life feeling that way.
I just loved that quote because I could relate to it, because, you know, that that's the way a lot of us grow up to feel, you know, and we start maybe, you know, for my situation, I had a very highly abusive situation as a child. And so you go into adulthood thinking that's normal.
Yeah.
And all you want is to be loved. And you really put yourself in a lot of the bad positions simply because you're just looking to be accepted and loved, and you don't realize and until when I wrote my book, it's called The Woman I Love, I had to learn to love myself before I could really attract the kind of man that I wanted into my life. And still, it's a journey. It's still a journey. There's always the trigger points, and so it's a constant vigilance to make sure that you know, we really watch what triggers us, and that we pay attention to it and continue to lead in the best ways that we can.
Yep, that absolutely. And it's that self-awareness that I think is crucial. If you do not have self-awareness, you don't know your place in the world. You don't know where you fit in. You don't know how you fit in with other people. You don't know how you're coming across, and how other people are perceiving you. And as they say, perception is reality. So there's a whole, I love this stuff. I love developing self-awareness and you know, self-efficacy and self-regulation and all of that, because I think that it's foundational to leading a life of healthy self-esteem.
Very much. So what's next for you, Tonya?
Well, we're going to have the launch party on Thursday.
Yeah.
And yes, and we're going to make it a Zoomable kind of thing. I want to get my website up and going. And ideally, I'd like to see, I wrote down workbook because I thought that was a pretty cool idea. I've been told that people would like to hear an audiobook. So, and I was, you know, because it is so raw and real and vulnerable, I think authenticity wise, it has to be my voice.
Yeah, because because of a book of this nature has so much richness and depth to it, and there's so much heart that is expressed throughout the pages, to hear it with your expression. Nobody can enunciate the words in the way that you do. Nobody can really just give it that flavor but you. So, there's a lot to getting an audiobook done, and as big as this book is, it will take some time to get that recording. I would suggest a great recording studio, because doing it from your home, it's very difficult to do it right, and there's a lot of detail that goes into the files for it. But
Yeah.
I also feel, the other morning, I very seldom have the TV on, but the other morning was my husband had on the news, and then there was a clip with an author from New York that was talking about self-esteem and taking care of yourself and understanding, emotions and everything. And I really think that you should, look for as many media opportunities to be able to speak.
Yeah.
Really, really get yourself out there, because your message is vital and it should be heard. It should be heard.
Yeah. I'd like to, I'd like to be involved in high schools. I think that high school, typically girls, but there might be guys too that are interested, or members of the queer community, or people that, non-binary, whatever somebody feels, a question of less than, a question of not good enough. I think that I'd like to do some motivational speeches, I guess, talks. And I'd like to work with young people. I'd like to work with women, help women get through the menopausal insanity, and really embrace this unbelievable and kind of exciting time in their lives where you can reinvent yourself, like Springsteen reinventing himself at 73. Like, he's just, that's very inspiring to me. And I want to help women, and I want to help people be able to find their place in the world. And I want to get the word out about ovarian cancer. I'm very, 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 very lucky that I don't have it. It came incredibly close. And that was another thing last year. I was like, uh-oh, girl, you better do it, because if you don't, you never know what's going to come up. And life is a series of somethings. So that was the biggest push I think I needed to get.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited for you, because today we've launched the paperback version. The other day, on Friday, we launched the Kindle version, and you became a #1 bestseller. So pretty darn exciting to know that. And that's what the push is for today. So for anybody, we do have the link both in the chat and on the bottom of the screen. But if you go to Amazon and type in Tonya Pomerantz, her name is unusual enough that it will come right up with her book. And pick up a copy and share it with somebody that you think could gain something, because this is a very universal issue. We don't hold the corner on the market to feeling like we need to work on building self-esteem. It is a very universal thing, and it is highly important that we address the issue and we lead in the ways that we can.
Yeah, and I appreciate your kind words and everything. And I have to say, one of the joys I've been getting is text messages or emails with pictures of people saying, I just got it today, and then they have their dog or their cat, and they say, okay, I'm gonna cuddle up with my dog and curl up with your book and some tea. And I'm getting them from Australia, from the Netherlands, from Canada, from all over the world, and it's
Beautiful.
Really cool. And because it is, like we say, it is universal.
It is. Yeah. Congratulations. You've accomplished a tremendous amount, and we celebrate you.
And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without you, Becky. I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't. And without Lynn and what's that?
It took a team of us.
It takes a village. It really does. And I'm so happy that I was referred to you, or you were referred to me, and that we connected from the moment that we first chatted, and I wanted to work with you.
And I have truly enjoyed working with you. It's been, just fun to see the progress and in how many conversations. Do you think anybody will read this book? Do you really think I should get this book out? And those kind of conversations. But look at where you are today. Yeah.
It's here.
All right, be sure and pick up a copy, and Tonya, take the time to celebrate. Take the time to really celebrate this time. What a beautiful accomplishment. So be sure and pick up a copy, and we will be sending this out into my database and putting a lot out on social media, and congratulations.
Cool. Thank you so much, Becky.
You're welcome.